Vitality announced that all GH1s are going to be hackable. He's able to do this because he's able. Test. 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 Giant mess in here. Let's see. Okay, I know I'm live and I've been doing other things. I was trying to answer a question. Obviously today, Vitality announced that all GH1s from now on are going to be hackable. The reason why this is possible, he's been waiting to reverse engineer the latest firmware. He got that back and now he's found a way to get in and hack those cameras. So what you're looking at is right now the GH1 is being discounted clearance. It's $399. You can get it for that price or cheaper. And what else should I say about it? No, I'm like off track. Anyway, basically no one's in the chat room asking questions yet, but tonight's live stream is for asking questions about the GH1, and I'll upload this to the second channel. If you're on the second channel watching this live stream, I'm sorry it's probably been quiet for the past couple of minutes, but anyway, We're live now and ready to answer GH1 questions. But if I were you, I'd rather be watching John Landau if you're going to watch live. Oh yeah, while we're here, I better make sure I got the thing on right. Nope, it's slightly off. Right about maybe there. Guess that works. Okay, so ready for GH1 questions for y'all that are watching, if you have any. Torkel has some, that's why we're doing the live stream. I don't know if my thing showed up yet. YouTube/live. Maybe or maybe not. I know there's a couple of you out there that are watching, so. And I think I put the links in. Yeah, if you search down, the links are there. Where to get a GH1 and the discussion on the GH1. Link takes you to Vitality's website. Hello, Big Bear and Mr. Money. So what is this about? This is about hacking these old... This is a Panasonic GH1. And tonight's live stream is talking about... hacking these guys. And so before it was only models made in 2009 or models made before June 2010, and now by the end of the week all GH1s that are purchased will be able to be hackable. So basically this is a question and answer session. In fact, I will get Torkel told me to go live. So I'm going to send him a message. And for more information on the hack, there's stuff in the bottom part. A link to Vitality, the name of the hacker's website, well, his personal website, and the thread that he said that these are going to be hackable, and a link to B&H where these guys are still in stock. So right now you can get a body for $399, and for $399 for this body, even if you have Canon lenses or Nikon lenses, it's worth $399 alone just to use this as a video camera, even if you don't plan to use it as a still camera. So the nice thing that the GH1 comes with, that not even the GH2 comes with, is it comes with its own AC adapter. I don't have it right here to look at, but you can basically plug this into the AC and run it all day long. There's no recording limits to how long you record. Canon cameras, there's a 12-minute limit. This keeps spanning files, so you can basically record with it like a whole concert. Hey, Gatler. Yeah, you asked me to go live this time. It was Torkel last time. Wait, can you explain what you mean? Oh, you posted it on my Facebook. I didn't even... Let me look and then I'll answer from there. Oh, you know what? I saw that, but I was busy and I didn't get to answer. Okay, should I upgrade my GH1 for my Pentax KX? You should keep the KX if you want to. I mean, you can get rid of the KX if you don't want to keep it, but keep the lens and get a PK adapter. Just don't get a super cheap one like this PK adapter. Remind me of the other stuff I should be doing. This PK adapter is permanently attached to this lens, so maybe not the cheapest PK adapter from eBay, but a more expensive one. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you could sell your KX. I bet that the GH1 is fairly similar in taking stills to the KX. It certainly takes way better video. But yeah, Mr. Money Kid 21, what do I mean by hacking it? Basically what it does is it's patches. You run... Where's an SD card? Anyway, you basically apply patches to the firmware that runs the camera, and it upgrades the bitrate from 17 megabits a second to anywhere up to 70 or 100 megabits a second. And that works for all modes of the camera. There's MJPEG hacks, there's AVC HD hacks for 1080p and 720p. Yeah, and the flip out screen. 1080p 24 native with flip out screen for $399 is a pretty good deal. What things that the only place that this kind of falters a bit is in low light. It's not the greatest low light camera. As long as you have enough light, and you can see, I've done a bunch of tests on all my channels. If you look at all my GH1 videos, probably have a good 15 or 20 of them, you can get a good feeling of what you get out of this camera. For a lens, if you want a lens that's like... Your best bet for a small lens, if I see if I can even find mine, I've got a huge mess. Where is it? For you, if you want a prime, get the 20mm 1.7. Where did I put that lens? I can't find it. Anyway. No, I know where I put it. And I didn't put my caps on it. Yikes. I had it in a box. This guy. Get the pancake if you want. It's 20mm f1.7. It is electronically focused, but the camera, the GH1, has electronic controls for this, and it can basically take away all the negative effects of the lens in processing, even for video. So I would go for this if you want a fast prime. If you want the cheapest lens possible, if you get the B&H package from the link below, if you add the 1442 lens, it has optical image stabilization. It's f3.5 to 5.6. Anyway, it's a good basic lens with good stabilization. Not the best lens in the world, but it works. As far as what else on this camera? I'm trying to think. I did talk about this comes with an AC adapter too, and I have it around here somewhere. Anyway, basically this comes out, and the charger comes with an adapter. I think this is the only still camera that I know of that comes with it. Anyway, you get basically an empty battery pack. It goes in here, it runs out of here, connects, and from there you plug into the battery charger and you have an AC adapter. So you can run it all day if you want to without using batteries. Yeah, I know. I've been banning, so. Other than that, I'm trying to think of what else needs to be covered on that. Look at the stats. Yeah, watching myself watch myself, that's on there. I do that so I can read the comments. Cross-processing in your Sony Vegas. I don't know the cheapest way to do cross-processing. There might be a I mean, I would probably use Magic Bullet if I was going for that, but you can use something like if you cross-processing plug-in Vegas, the first link that you get, if you search it in Google, will be a thing on making a custom curve for that, and it looks fairly similar. I guess tonight is troll night, isn't it? I think that's what trolling night is. Wednesday is troll night. I wonder if it looks like the Pentax cross-processing. Yeah, you definitely can't. There's no built-in option for that on the GH1. At least that I know of. No, there's a bunch of different modes. I can show you the different modes. The thing that this has, it has this a film mode button, where in the GH2 you don't have a button assigned to it. It's right here. When you hit the film mode button, it gives you options for several different types of film mode. Usually I have my own custom set for smooth. And you can see the settings there, basically, and I can get it a little closer, I think, and still focus. Anyway, but you have a few different... Here, let me put on a lens. Anyway, if you go, let me take that up. And then film mode, might as well show what it has. Those are the different modes of the camera. So it does have different modes that you can use for different situations. There's like and you can slightly customize it. It doesn't do a whole lot when you customize it. The best two modes are nostalgic and smooth on the GH1. Trying to hold it up so you can actually read the thing. If I wanted to answer that question every single time I went live, I would gladly do it. But since tonight is troll night, I don't particularly feel like answering what I do every time I do this. So okay, won't block you again. But I'm not going to answer the question. You think I come on here to, you know, it doesn't really matter. I'm going to answer camera questions right now. With whatever else is going on in here, it doesn't matter. Just get a shoulder mount. One of the other things, if you get one of these, where's the lens? If you get one of the lenses with OIS on it, you can get away for most shots. Certainly a shoulder mount's always a good option, but if you don't have the money and just need something temporary to use, let's bump up ISO. You can use OIS on one of the OIS lenses. If you're using a prime, obviously it's not going to help, and a shoulder mount's going to be what you need. But you can get at its widest angle, you can get fairly steady shots like that. The 14140 or the 1442 lens, I don't know if I'm in focus or not. Any of the ones for outdoor stuff, any of the ones that have the switchable OIS. I don't know if the 14140 has switchable OIS. You might have to do it from inside the menu. We can search B&H and see what they have. I don't know, can you see the screen? Maybe you can see the screen. Anyway, if you go on B&H on that link, save $100 off Panasonic lenses. When you combine it with the body, there are, the 1442 has, I mean, it's not a fast lens, but it's good for outdoors and it's good as a starter lens. It's only $99. What's another? The 100-300 for a long distance lens, it's 4 to 5.6. It's not fast again, but it's it has very good OIS and it's very, very sharp. This is the 14140, and this is out of stock. It's probably in stock in other places, but is like $750 for this lens. It's a great lens, but not everyone wants to spend that kind of money up front for that type of lens. The 45-200 I have not tried. I don't see what the price is on that. I guess they're 20mm lenses out of stock too. And right now the 1442 is actually $100 cheaper than the 1445. I think the difference in the two, I think the 1445 has better autofocus than the 1442, and it has the mega optical image stabilization switch. The other thing too is I'm not sure that you're able to turn off optical stabilization on the 1442. Someone else was saying on DVX User earlier that you couldn't turn off optical image stabilization for the 1442 or the 45-200. The 45-200 and the 1442 are the two cheapest 4/3 lenses that you can buy. There's another deal too. I don't know if I can find it or not. Let me see if there's... On DVX User, there's some good deal on, if you search on Amazon, it's for an Olympus 4/3 lens. And it's not a great lens. It's like 45mm. No, the 4150. I don't know. I'll have to search for it again. You can get an Olympus lens. It's a 4150 lens. It doesn't have stabilization, so it would definitely need to be used on a tripod or a shoulder mount. But it comes with the regular 4/3 adapter. Now, with the regular 4/3 adapter, this mount right here is micro 4/3. Regular 4/3 is for the same sensor size, but it's for bigger cameras like Olympus and some older Panasonic cameras. But there's a lot of different lens choices, and the adapter alone usually costs $169, but this is the lens, the 4150, and the adapter for $199. So, I mean, that's a good deal on a cheap lens set. And with that 4/3 adapter, you can use lenses like the Zucchio lenses. So, I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Zucchio. Whatever. Anyway, they have those really, really expensive f2 zooms, which are like the fastest still camera production zooms available. Sony Alpha A55. I think that is a pretty good. I forget what. Yeah, that's got the translucent mirror, doesn't it? I'm gonna look at a D-Preview review of it and see how it matches up to something else. I mean, the Sony cameras, as far as doing video, I'm talking about a GH1 for video alone. I'm going to compare at dpreview.com. I usually go into their RAW. Another thing about the GH1 and GH2, they have fairly weak JPEG performance, so if you shoot stills with these cameras, you definitely want to shoot RAW and process later. I think that's the weakest part of the still imaging chain in these cameras is the the JPEG performance. RAW, it looks a whole lot better. A55, let's bring up, like I don't think they have the Panasonic. They have the GF1 and compare it to a GH2. It's fairly similar. In the A55, the SLT A55, I assume that's what you have. It looks like the stills are in RAW mode with that camera are nearly as good, or they look nearly, not, oh, that's 3200. Maybe not good, not as good as a 7D, but it's definitely not a weak camera in still performance. Should I get the GH1 or save up for get the Pentax K5? The K5 doesn't have really great video. So if you're doing it for video alone, I don't know how, I mean, I'm sure the K5 is great for still, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't have any manual control for its video mode. What's the price on it too? $13.27. It has a bigger sensor, doesn't it? It's full APS size. Yes, paint drying is more exciting than watching this, I would assume. I mean, if you want to watch someone browse the web and answer questions, I've got that. Also, right now, if you want to watch something more fun, I'm sure you can go and troll the other live. In fact, this I was watching John Landau before I went live. He's a whole lot more interesting than me. I'm going to look at your channel. Let's see what you do for fun that's more fun than me. Why not? Red Dead Redemption. Are these ones that you uploaded? I mean, yeah, the Pentax cameras are nice. It's just, I mean, basically you're getting the GH1 just for video when it comes down to it. But if you really do like your Pentax and having that real-time cross-processing, then where did the lens cap for this go? I don't even know. Then I would get just get the body and get some adapters for lenses. And I can tell you what the price of a good adapter is for that too. PK to, what do we call it? 4/3. Oh, you don't want Pentax to 4/3, you want it to micro 4/3. So M43 when you search on YouTube, I mean eBay. Blech. I'll search by highest first and see what. A lot of these look similar to the one I have that's broken. Well, Amazon's a better bet then, I guess, to PK M4/3. Photodiox is usually pretty good, so that's $29.95 on Amazon. I would go with the like that. Pentax KR versus the Alpha A55. I want to look and see how they compare. You know what? I'll check JPEG to what is it? A55 Sony Alpha. Go up to something like ISO 800. All three cams. I mean, the K5 and the A55 look so close, it's going to come down to what lenses you're using on the cameras to really find a difference between the two. Now, if you're going to get better lenses for the Pentax, that or if you just want a different body, I'm sure that works fine, but I'm not sure. If you're using the same lenses on both, the results look like they're going to be pretty similar between the Sony and the Pentax. Yeah, I do like the Pentax bodies. I mean, they do come in red, which is cool. I played with one at Fry's in red. It was pretty cool. In Japan, you can actually get GH1s in red. In fact, you can get GH1s in red, blue, silver, a whole bunch of different colors, but in America, they only have black. So, at least with my American GH2, I was able to get it in silver instead of black. Oh, that's right. I've seen a white KX as well. I mean, that stuff is just about how you feel about the color of the camera. I mean, it doesn't affect anything else, but some people like to have a colorful camera body. I guess it makes it stand out versus other cameras. Okay, my audio is still fine. This microphone freaks out from time to time, so I have to check it and make sure that it's still working. It's probably because I hung this out the back of my car and in the wind. That wasn't a great idea. Actually, I don't know if this is still considered one of the best lavs anymore, but this is a Countryman EMW that it takes. Oh, what does it take? It takes phantom power and it ends in XLR, so I can't really use it with the DSLRs, but it's useful for. Yeah, I'll check Facebook. It looks nice. Where does the camera mount? It doesn't mount on the red disc, does it? $500 for that? I mean, it looks like a decent rig for $500, but I just can't tell. I would say not. Do you know what brand it is or where it came from? I haven't seen that particular one. It does look nice. Just trying to figure out why you see where it comes up and it ends with the circular mount and the tab there. I'm trying to see if make sure that isn't where the camera. If that's like off to the side and it's for a monitor mount, then that was probably nice. Would be nice. The only thing that might be bad is that the handles might not stay in place, so they might move around a bit. On a lot of those kits, it seems like they don't put a lot of work into locking down the handles so they can move on you, which is really annoying. But $500 sounds about right for that type of device. Add rails to tighten the handles. I don't know if they would be necessarily loose. It's hard to tell from this picture and without seeing the brand and anything. It could be one of those ones too that's just made in China and ripped off other designs. So without testing it, I don't know. As far as I mean, you could put a brace between the two handles and make it so that like if you have the ability to go down to the store and get a little, like an aluminum bar and measure it out and drill with a drill press at certain places on either end, then you could put that between the two handles and lock them into place and they wouldn't move. That would certainly work. I don't know where you can get a strip of aluminum. Probably most hardware stores, I would think, have something similar to that. I'm going to check a couple other comments that came in on the other video while we were. Someone asked about the GH1 hack. What do you think the hack provides in terms of quality, more resolution, bitrate, etc.? Is the 5D still better for video? If you're watching this video, which you're probably not, or if you're catching up, the hack GH1, it really improves the quality when you enable native 24p, which allows for real, true progressive color sampling. And now Kira's talking to me. The bitrate upgraded. I mean, it's hard to tell on YouTube the difference. That YouTube doesn't even have enough quality in their compression to C. So I'm thinking about what Akira told me, and I'm trying to talk at the same time, and it gets me. Anyway, yes, it becomes very good. Better than a 5D, except in low light with this. Anything up to basically ISO 640, 800-ish is still pretty good on a GH1. Above that, you have to make sure you have enough light lighting the scene so you don't get some strange artifacts. But again, if you watch my other GH1 videos and low light comparisons, you can tell. Okay, you're going to send me some links on my Facebook for picking a laptop? I'll be waiting. Any other questions about GH1 stuff while I'm waiting for Gatler to send links? The G72GX. That is a good. I like that laptop. It's a good laptop. I've seen it. That sounds like a good price if it's real. G72GX buying new. What specs does that come with? It's got the 17.3-inch display. It doesn't say what CPU it includes. So, there's a few different models of this, I believe. Oh, the refurbished ones are going on eBay for about $724. So maybe it's a refurbished one? But yeah, if you can get it for that price. If it's got the 6 gigs of RAM and the, I think it's an i7 in that. Is it an i7 or an i5? The Q9000. The Q9000's a little slow for for editing, because it's not going to take advantage of all 4 cores all the time. 6 gigs of RAM, okay. The Q9000 is not my favorite CPU. It's okay, but not the greatest in the world. Shared another link. Let me take a look at what it is. HP EliteBook 844p. They just ended up putting everything in there. They don't give the specs on it, which is weird, but they give the specs for all of them. So if you find out what exactly is in the EliteBook, they're typically usually HP notebooks are the only notebooks that are certified to use with Avid. Typically they're built very well. I guess it's hard to find out the specifications on the specific computer, but if you find out which actual CPU's in it, it can be anywhere from an i5 to an i7. You're using Vegas, so the i7 or i5 would be a better bet for you than the quad core for rendering. Did I say anything about the Asus? Did you hear what? Yeah, I talked about it for a few minutes. The Asus is a good I don't think you can go wrong with either of those computers, but you need to know the specs on the HP though, because they just copied and pasted from HP's site and dumped it out all on there. If the HP is an i7 640M, truly that, I would probably go with that over the Asus. If you get it for $400 or $600, I don't know what. You're probably not getting it from Craigslist, or if you are. I don't know. It's got USB 3, NVS 3100. I don't know how that compares. They mean. Oh, it's a Quadro. Well, you have less problems with other stuff. I would probably go with that. It's not going to be probably as fast as the 265, but having an actual Quadro makes it more compatible for some plugin and some software. So if in the future you upgrade to a different software, you don't have to worry about hacking for Quadro or 3D programs. It's nice to have. Yeah, they're all from Craigslist. Okay. The Asus comes with 3D glasses. Yeah, the 3D screen's nice, but if you hook your laptop up to a 3D capable monitor, you can still do it as long as you have as long as it can output HDMI 1.4. Then you can use 3D on an alternate screen. And I'm talking to two different people while I'm chatting, so I'm trying to keep. I know there's more people that just joined. Hello, if you just joined, maybe you're wanting to know about the GH1. You'll have to put a. Which one of the three will be best for gaming and editing? Oh, now those people left. Okay. I didn't get 3. I only got 2. No, I did. Oh, okay. The Acer. I did not see the Acer. It didn't show up in my thing. It didn't say new. Okay, the Acer is 15.6. It has a Core i5. The Craigslist deals sound better already with that. But the 3D Vision kit is supports 720p. Yeah, that's not. I would say the Asus is probably best for gaming. The Acer has 3D, but it doesn't say. It looks like it says 720p screen. So I wouldn't trade 3D for a 20-inch screen. Graphics GT45. LCD monitor. It's 1366 by 768. You don't want that. You don't want to try to edit on that. So I would just cut the Acer out completely. The Asus is interesting because it comes with OS X already installed, and it's dual boot with OS X for only $600. It's probably GT260M versus what was that? The GT35 NVS 3100. Then again, it only has the 3 gigahertz. If you can get the HP for that cheap, I would go with the HP. Between all those. Try to make sure that it has. What screen does the HP have? It doesn't say that. It says a 14-inch screen. It's a little bit smaller. I do like the 17-inch screen on the Asus. So, dual boot with OS X. That doesn't. Oh, Gatler was getting a drink, and I wasn't reading. It's not sanctioned by Apple, but you can do it. I've done it before. I mean, it's nice to do. So the only difference between a Mac and a PC in terms of hardware is a special BIOS chip that allows OS X to run the boot CD. So if you hack around that, OS 10 runs the same because it's the same hardware. Especially if it runs an Intel chip and NVIDIA GPU or Asus GPU. What's going on in here? Talk about camera hacking and other. I'm gonna be outdoors, so no monitor. The 1080p screen is going to be the way to go. I like some of the things about the HP EliteBook better, but I mean, I can't imagine trying to edit on that low resolution screen. So if you're doing anything in Vegas, you need the 1080p screen. You can't really go wrong with that. You can usually play with those two or those types of laptops at Best Buy. So. Yeah, that or any of the other editing programs, or just Photoshop alone is hard on a low-res screen. What does the HP have over the G72X? I like the Quadro for compatibility with other programs. It's not going to be as fast as the other, as the Asus have. And I think you said this has an I think you said an i7 in it. The HP has a faster CPU. Quad core is nice, but I mean, I think that trade-off's worth it. It has 8 gigs in the HP and 6 gigs in the Asus. I think they're both probably the same speed of RAM. And just get the Asus. It's a good deal for what it is. That, if you actually want to run Final Cut on it or something, you can do that as well. You don't have to worry about setting it up if he's already set it up for you. Are there only 2 people in here? No, that we've gone up to 17 and dropped down to less than that. Right now we're at 11 or 12. Yeah, it's hard to remember what people's preferences are for their software. Some of the people swear by Adobe, some people swear by Apple, and some people swear by Vegas. So, I mean, I just try to... Now people are dropping off quick. They're like, this is not cool. There's no reason to be watching. Click off the channel. Use all of them. Yeah, that's sometimes I use all of them as well. See, I'm trying to talk here, and I'm trying to talk to Akira about tires. So I know this isn't really exciting at this point. But I think we've answered most of the questions about the GH1 stuff. This guy is giving me a deal on 3 new monitors. Ah. Nose itch. Yes, I agree. I agree that Killer Clown as Arnold would freak people out. Or even Ronald Reagan talking as Arnold would freak people out. We should do that instead of answering questions. The battery lasts about... If you don't use the screen, and remember you can use the internal screen and this uses a lot less power, you could probably last a good 3 or 4 hours just by using this. With the screen out, it's going to be 1.5 to 2 hours. So, and you have the AC adapter that you can use. Get your sister to be Maria and you be Arnold and have a skit. Indeed, that would be a good idea. School's no fun. What does it mean by the bodies will be hackable? Well, right now, if you have bought a GH1 or had a GH1 since that was made in June 2010 and later, they have a firmware that's loaded on them that previously has not been hackable. So Vitality announced, and he's the original GH1 camera owner, camera hacker, that all GH1s starting later this week will be hackable. He's found a way to reverse engineer that new firmware and can fix those unhackable cameras. So all GH1s will be hackable very soon. But I don't know if the GH1 is actually still in production anymore. So the ones that are getting discounted at $399 now, they might be the end of the line. They may have been stopped being produced, and what you're seeing is just the residual leftover GH1s. So that's why I said get them while you can. What is the advantage? Well, I went into that whole thing. The advantage, like 3 or 4 times the bit rate in 1080p and 720p. Third-party batteries you can use. You can switch the language. If you get a Japanese one, you can switch it to English. What other changes are there? Basically, the bit rate's the big one. The big important one is just upping the bit rate, and it makes this into a better video camera. When you buy a GH1 alone, it's a worse video camera than any of the Canons, or, well, it's sort of on par with Nikon with their lack of control. When you hack a GH1, it's, as long as you're not in really low light, if you're in brighter light, it's better than any of the Canon cameras in video mode, including the 5D. So it's I've held on to mine because I thought it would be rare to have a hackable GH1. I guess it's not worth as much anymore. Unfortunately, the hacked GH1 bodies were going for $450 on eBay before this announcement, so I guess that won't be the case anymore. Wally Kit got his today, and yes, it is the GH1 second coming. These things, once this news gets out and gets really popular, last time the GH1 was hackable, they instantly went out of stock. And that was in June or so. I mean, they basically, overnight, they were gone as soon as these things could be hacked. Wouldn't it mess up the camera? Is it like a mod? No, it's basically just changing the bitrate numbers on top of the firmware. So there hasn't been anyone. The worst thing you'll do, and the really important thing to remember when you get this camera, is you need high quality class 10 SD cards, especially if you're going to run at a high bitrate. No one's reported any damage. This is a Patriot LX. This is about as low as I would go in quality. You can get these at Fry's, actually pretty cheap. You need a class 10 SD card. You absolutely have to have it. That, and after you use it and fill it up a couple of times, you need to format it in camera, because you're pushing so much data to this card that it will overrun and cause problems. So what are the specs on my laptop? It's old now. It's only got a 9800 GTS with 512 megs RAM for the video card, and it has 4 gigs of memory. And what else? Why is that coming up now? What am I using to record myself right now? I'm using I'll type it in, a DVX100 with an LA7200. Gatler did it before me. That gives me this nice anamorphic flare. Indeed, he did beat me. Can I use Nikon lenses on the GH1? That is a good question. Yes, you can. This is, the aspect ratio seems weird. It's a little bit cropped off of it. It's 4:3 to 16:9, but with a little bit extra crop down to 2351. This is a Nikon to Micro Four Thirds adapter. This does not control aperture. This is a dumb mount because I don't have any Nikon lenses that need that, and I use older AIS lenses like this 28 f2. Somewhere we're in focus. How many people watching the stream? We have 17 people watching the stream right now. T3i for 700. Well, that's 300 more than a. The T3i might be better at taking stills than the GH1. I don't know. That's something I haven't checked on. Hey, D-Man 654321. YouTube Live is not a big thing right now. Not many people know about it. No. Well, if you're, I didn't plan this. I just came on here because Gatler had questions. So I didn't post that. I think other people have gotten a lot more viewers. But then again, I have a lot more people talking to me than John Landau's thing, which might still be going on. No, I think it's off. Anyway. True. That might not bother with it. That's the last time YouTube Live recorded a show was on May 25th. I think they might have added it back. I need to find out. Before it only said April 7th in the YouTube live thing, but now that it says May 25th, it means that it's recording again. So I'm going to go in there and look and see if it actually is. If it does, that would be nice, but I am recording myself and I've been uploading from recording. Doesn't say that it's recording there, and in video settings does not say that it's recording. So I'm not sure that it's actually recording. And the YouTube live thing is kind of cool. Now I'm out of focus again. It's useful for helping people answer questions and stuff. But I upload these now to my second channel for people to watch when I get off. So it's down at the bottom, iPatch channel 2. I've been uploading it to that channel. You know what? I've got to do a couple things. I'll answer. Have I ever been bald? No, I have never. I've always had the same haircut. But I am balding, so I'm just going to keep my hair until it's there. Play a game for us. I would, but I need to do a few things, so I think I'm going to answer a couple more questions, then probably call it quits for right now. I may come back on later, but I've got stuff to do. For Sony Vegas Pro, Avid DNX HD doesn't play back smoothly. What's a better high-quality codec? That's true. DNX HD doesn't play back smoothly. Cineform is a better option, and I've got my earlier video in there. If you want an option that works between a whole bunch of different programs, the best, it would probably be Cineform right now. It probably has the best compatibility. I do like DNX HD still the most because it's easy to deal with in programs, but basically it puts it in a QuickTime movie wrapper and sends it out, which you obviously know from that. That's like the nice thing, is that it has access to those original files and just puts it in a wrapper. Vegas actually does it the same kind of way. Does it play back smoothly? Yes, it does play back smoothly. Cineform does play back smoothly. But if you're staying within Avid, I would just use Avid's products, like what's their other products, like Pro Tools and stuff. If you import DNX HD and you're working on the sound design in Pro Tools, it's easier just to stay in DNX HD because it plays back smoothly. Any free software? Probably the easiest to MPEG 2 seems to be, even though it makes huge files, MPEG 2 seems to be an easy codec to play back between the programs. It's not the best in the world. It's not a master codec like, and a good editing codec like DNX HD, but it does work if you want a free solution to that problem. But it is a little choppy. What's the most important thing above anything else to keep in mind with the GH1? The most important thing with a hacked GH1, there are a couple tips. If you're running at a super high bit rate on a card, you might want to start the shot with your hand over the lens. Just when you hit record, hand over the lens, start the recording, let it off. That will help not overrun the encoder the first time you use it. If you're running at like 75 megabits or above, depends on the lens that you're using as well. The Panasonic CPU lenses like these, demand a little bit more processing, so you end up having to, you might crash the camera depending on a super high detail scene. It doesn't happen often, but it can happen, and if you use low quality cards. In Gatler's question, even though I did see that before, 1 minute quick facts, Avid versus Sony. Sony's easier to use. Avid's harder to learn. Avid works easier if you're editing a smaller version, a proxy version of a big project. It has better media management tools. If you're working on anything short, like under 10 minutes or so, Vegas is a much better option for you, just ease of use, and you don't really have to worry about media management. If you're working on anything longer or with stuff with multiple cameras, then Avid's easier to use. I don't know if that was a minute, though. And mime come back on tonight, come back dressed as a mime and mime your answers to the question. Only hit 30 seconds with that. Another 30 seconds, and this will be the last question between the two. Avid's got the whole pro suite of tools between it. It's got its video encoder and Sorensen, and it's got the Pro Tools program. If you get the whole Avid suite that's compatible with the MBox, that way you can just use your DNX HD and import it into the programs with a QuickTime wrapper, and you can work on the files without re-rendering the original edits. Answer your last question. How do you render multiple clips in After Effects? You have to do one at a time. You mean like at a section you can only render one? You can group them up. You can set up a bunch of different compositions and then set to make movie on a whole bunch of different, but each one would need to be a different composition. That, or you would need to tell it to render and then pause it and then start it again. I'm sure there's an easier way to do that, but you need to set it up as a whole different render queue of different things that you want to render. Okay, I'll probably see you back on later tonight.